What's up, dude? Through this video, I'm animating a mutant chihuahua smashing its head into an evil giant air fryer while showing you how I combine traditional and rig animation to get a snappy timing and studio quality animation. Look at this thing that we have here. We have this three-headed mutant chihuahua that is going to boom attack this robot here. Look at this animatic. Boom. Cool. So, bam and bam. Get out of here. I only need this. Cool. Now I want to work on these two main frames. This final frame and this frame here, black. So let's start working. I'll just start with the final one. So I'm going to start doing a quick blocking of my character. I'm going to make this bigger, somewhere around there, maybe a bit smaller. There you go. Now I'm going to grab a mouth of this character that looks similar to that frame, which is something like this. So I'm going to grab this spooky and copy and paste. This is a good thing about working with, oopsie, that was another one that I wanted to copy, this one. This is a good thing about working with rigs, is that I can always reuse these poses to animate faster. And then, here I can start doing crazy stuff, like adding that thing there, that fold, by just moving this stuff around, this character around, so I can get to those poses. Something like this. And well, eventually I will find the best way of overlapping those lines. And then tuki, 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 pip, pim, pim, bam. And of course, the perspective of this character is different from the animatic, so that's where I will start doing draw overs here. Cool. Let me just change some stuff around here. Before moving the formers, even before moving the formers, the best thing to do here will be to do a draw over. So let's do a draw over to design that pose. And I'm going to choose here my favorite brush and I'm going to start drawing. And then here, this will be something like this. I push a lot too much the character and animatic, and that's why it looks like I'm having a lot of lines here. But I don't need it. I don't need too many lines on this mouth on this character here. I can just do something like this, and that will already look badass. Side view here. This eye could be something like this. And then the head, something like that. Something like this to show this apex on the neck. And then we're having here the ear. And these are one around here like that. Look at that flow between these two ears. Beautiful. So that's the idea here. The hair could be something like this. And the eye, yeah, I could also go a little bit forward like that. Awesome. What I'm going to do is, with this rough pass that I did, I'm going to reduce the opacity and do a tie down. Do a tie down here. Clean a little bit this frame so I can have something really clear to put my rig on top. Something like that. There you go. And then we have the mouth here, something like this. Then the mouth have this geometry here. And I think I can cut this to have more of a flat design on this view. Okay. And then here we're having something like this. It's happily beating the shit out of that air fryer. Tuki. And then here the ears. Connecting the flow between these two ears in this way. Boom bam. Then we have the ear. We have the eye. Something like that. Here we have this line. And then I can get rid of this. Maybe this closer there. Boom bam. There you go. So that's my rough pass, and now I have to put the rig on top of this. Something like this. Maybe even looking a little bit forward, something like that, so I can stretch. This will go up. And I can maybe push this a little bit higher. Maybe I want to show this little corner here. In this head, I don't want to overlap it there, so I might go inside here. Cool. There you go. Boom, something like that. And this is the character. What if I inflate this? Now, time to grab the rig. Let me reduce the opacity of this. Okay. Then I'm going to move this towards the screen, something like that. Okay. Let me increase a little bit the opacity. Tuko. Boop, boop. And then I'm going to put the rig on top of this. Come on, come on, come on. So, Tuki, moving the stuff around until I have exactly the same pose. And this is an approach that I like to do in my animations. It's like I start with my posing and then I do my animation. And when I do my posing, I am already thinking about all the animation principles and how to apply on my drawings. And then when I do animation, I try to match the animation, the timing, my rough passes with the poses that I design. Sometimes when I'm doing traditional animation, I do first do a complete rough pass before moving into animating. See, this will go nowhere. And then these will mask here. Tuki, moving this here. Tuki. I have music blasting my ears right now because I'm super sleepy right now. So I am blasting music on my ears. I hope the mic is not catching that noise. There you go. We continue. We move forward little by little every day because consistency is the key of this stuff. Consistency is the key of this stuff. Sometimes the best art that we do comes when, like, I really love this quote by David Lynch. It's like you don't need to feel bad to create art. It's better when you feel good when you create to create art. But we don't always feel like, ooh, I want to animate this today. But just presenting every day to the work helps in some way. That's also something that I read. I didn't wrote that. That I read from this book, The War of Art, from Steven Pressfield. It's like, if you present to work every day, dude, you will be gifted. You will see that the muses. He talked about muses. You will see that the muses will gift you. Maybe not at that moment that you're presenting yourself with not the best energy, but as you move forward, those muses will gift you. I don't believe in muses, but I believe in myself. If I believe in myself and I keep presenting myself to my work, I am creating a better relationship with myself in which I can rely on me, in which I can, when I have clients, pitch to my clients with confidence, like, you know what, I'm sure that I can deliver because I've already went through difficult and complex stuff on my personal work and with previous clients, with previous work opportunities. So it's important to put ourselves in these complex scenarios so we create a better relationship with ourselves, into knowing ourselves how is that we feel when we are in these scenarios. I'm not sure if I am connecting my words properly. There you go. We have something like that. So yeah, consistency. Consistency. I feel, even though we're not feel or I don't feel like doing my best work, consistency at least will open me the doors not to see the best work of the material stuff that I'm doing, like this animation, but instead it will allow me to see the best work on myself. Like if I were a piece of art, some virtues, some good habits like consistency will help me to see that final piece of art of myself someday, and not necessarily my work. Shit! So now that piece gets stuck there, so I have to close my Joom Boom software and open it again. I don't know why sometimes the deformers do crazy weird stuff. Look at that beautiful BG. Look at that beautiful BG. Did I save? I hope so. Also beautiful. What I was doing? Ah, days. Tuki. I met someone. I met someone. If you're watching this, Fernando, I'm talking about you. Like Fernando is just starting to learn animation. He's from Argentina, and I love how he is. I think he's making courses and all that kind of stuff. But instead of getting trapped into this never endless pursuit of knowledge, he's just starting to do little short clips, little short animations representing the humor that he have, and he's learning as he's doing that. He's learning character design, he's learning animation. So he's not just doing drills or practices about animation in order to learn animation. He's actually starting to also practice his directing skills, his comedy skills. He's putting some good jokes on those short clips, and he is he's contacting me to show me the progress as an accountability friend, just to, you know what, look at how I'm progressing, look, I'm doing my effort, and I really like that, and I really like that, and I'm totally giving him feedback and supporting on his short film and his short clips, because dude, that's my kind of people that is, even though they are afraid, they feel insecure about their art, they still are like badass people. They're like, you know what? I don't fucking care. I'm going to do stuff. So cheers to that. Cheers to that. There's people that is always in this thinking paralysis, waiting for someday to have the animation skills needed to start animating. Dude, I don't have a lifetime to wait for that. When I first started animating, dude, I didn't have good drawing skills, but I was doing both, developing my animation skills and my drawing skills at the same time. Because, yeah, sometimes I hear this the other day. I don't know how. It sounds interesting. Put some thoughts, and it's that sometimes all the attention that is grabbing these social medias and all the stuff that we're seeing on the internet is accomplishing something, and it's helping us forget that we're going to die someday. It's helping us forget that we're going to die someday. What the heck is this? Get out of here. Tuki, 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 Tuki. Okay, before moving forward, I'll do a quick rough pass here, Tuki. I will do a quick rough pass. This is my final pose. Let me increase all of this. Let me change this into Leonardo da Vinci color of brush, something like that. So we're having this. Here, this is the bouncing ball of the head. So, something like this, something like this. Cool. So, how is that this dude is going to beat the shit out of this robot? Let me extend all of this. Boomba. Here is bam. Copy and paste in here this bouncing ball and squashing that bouncing ball because I'm going to change the way that this head looks here. And I wanted to crash here with the head. Something like this. I like how this is going that way and this is going that way. It's like boom, boom. So I want that energy here. So this neck will be something like this. Boom. So like pam, pam, pam. So boom, pam. And then here I wanted to move forward, like boom, and overlapping there. Four. And I want the nose to be down here. So this energy go that way. Something like this. And then the ears will start overlapping that way. Tuki, so I'm feeling the movement. Boom. Boom. And then here, instead of going back just like this, tuki tuki, instead of going just like that, tack tack tack, I want to create some roundness in my movement. Here, for example, I can go a little bit closer to camera. It's like, bam, closer to camera. The ears could be something like, boom, 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 and then here. And I'm exploring. I have no idea what I want to do here. I know that I want to do something better than the animatic. So boom, boom, and then here I can overshoot up. Before overshooting, I need to slow out from this pose. So I'm going this way in perspective. Now here I need to slow out back. So I'm flipping to track the volumes of this head. So boom, boom. And then here I can stretch that. Stretch that. Here is pushing up. And then the ears. So it could be boom, boom, overshooting here. Tun, tun, tun. And then boom. I will overshoot here before going up. So we have boom, 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 boom. And then here up, back. So here I want to create this little rhythm like this. This is the final key. And here I can totally copy the same head. And do something like this. And then here, in another frame, I'm going to copy the same head and move it down. So I'm creating that arc. And here I need to slow in up. So I need another frame here that is going to slow in towards that pose there. And look at the arcs that I'm creating. So this will be a little bit higher. So look at that ball going. The ball is here, then it's going here, and then it's going here. But if I draw like a vertical line like that, it's not doing the best job. So this have to be a little bit lower. This have to be a little bit higher. And then poke. Bam, cool. So we have that. And then the ears will also play in a very dynamic way. Something like this. Ooh. Here also I need something different on the ears. This one will still carry backwards somewhere like that. And then I will do some settle here for the ears. How is that we go to that final pose of the ears? So I can overshoot that. So I can copy this one and paste it here and overshoot that ear up. And then this one, let me see how can I. So boom, overshoot here that ear. And then we can go towards that pose. Cool. So we have like a skeleton of the animation that I want to achieve here. I also need to add the head, the neck. So I love how the neck is going to appear here like crazy. I don't need a frame here. Boom! Look at all of this energy going like this. Boom, boom. I need to push that a little bit more that way. And all of this is a squashing. Bam! And then here, this quick crash here. Maybe you can squash here to add more intensity. I can exaggerate all of this. all of this tuki, and also we can squash all of this even more like that. And we can inflate this part. Boom, 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 into boom here, and then on this one on trees, and then here two. Cool. Now the neck. Boom. We release this energy. Look at all of this tension, all of this energy building here, all of this energy building here, here. Bam. Even all as we are squashing here, we're building more volume here. We're inflating this part. So it's like energy, and then boom, and then pa when we release all of this energy. Boom. Bam. And then we're going forward towards camera, and then we're slowing out, and this is going up. My final neck is something like that, but now that I'm seeing all the stuff that I've been doing, looks like a penis. Yeah, let's do something like that. I like that. Let's have that corner there. So tung tung tung. We need to slow in that corner there. I cannot just disappear it out of nowhere. Boom, boom, boom. I need to copy and paste this one over here just to have a preview of how these two frames will connect between each other by drawings. By drawings! There you go. Two. Okay, this is going and down. Up, down. This have to be a little bit higher. And then here. Cool. Let's see what we have. Mm, mm. Okay, of course we need more frames. But here what I did, I have all the keys and breakdowns. Key, 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 key. Breakdown, 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 and breakdown. Why? Because I want to add some more in betweens here. Bam. But I know with my rig, I'm going to post these first things here. For example, this may not be a breakdown. This will be totally an in between. So put in between. So we have something like that. Taka. Awesome. Now, for example, between this breakdown and this key, I want a slow in. I want a frame in the middle, just to slow out the movement. So, boop, 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 boop. Something like this, taka. Something like this, tuki. Here I need this to go higher. Tuku tuku, and then we're going overshoot here this ear. I'm going to overshoot this ear down, and then we're settling into the final ear, so I will need more frames there. Cool. This other ear, Tuki, 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 Tuki. Cool. I'll need more frames to settle into that pose, but for now it's okay. Here, before showing this, I need a frame here. And maybe I can reuse this same one here and just move it like that, and then maybe stretch this. Awesome. This on the ones. And then here I'm going to play with my timing until I get something that I like. Boom. Maybe if I get rid of this one, let me see what happens if I get rid of this frame. Yeah, it feels more punchy, but still I want to like a slow in the middle to show how these two characters will destroy each other's head, like here. So here I might have to expand the exposure here on trees. Then boom, explodes there. Now it feels like it's punching is like pushing it forward. I don't like to push it forward. I would rather just explode like crazy. Let me just keep moving and stuff. No, we have to get rid of that frame. Cool. One book. Boom, yeah. Bam, 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 bam. Cool. Bam, bam. Let me move this here because I need to settle towards the last frame. Better. Bam. And here I'm going to move this a little bit there because I need to add more frames here in the middle to settle. So we have like here the ear. Here we are ending here this frame of the ear. The head. This may go a little bit higher and a little bit towards this side, so we're creating this rounded movement. Tuki, 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 tuki. And then we need more frames to settle those ears. So something like this. And here something like this. Here the head. Tuki, 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 tuki. Let me reduce here the spacing, Pam. Cool. I don't like that ear, but let me see if I can just. So I'm reducing the space in between these rounds so it doesn't feel that aggressive. Cool. I'll fix that later. Bam, bam. Look at that ear here. Bam. I think this ear will work better here. Boom, it's exploding up. Beautiful. Cool. So there you go. Now the robot. Let's animate the robot on this same layer. I'm going to change the color. I'm going to put it with blue. So we have the robot here. Something like that. We don't have an arm for this robot on this frame. We can push this, something like this. And then boom, here. Boom, boom, boom. Something like that. Boom. Here we can just show this part of the robot and add some speed lines there. Boom. Robot is out. Bam. So tuki tuki. Let's look at the rough pass only. Boom. 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 Now we grab here the camera, put peg, and then here, boom. 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 Then go back to normal camera. Bam. 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 Cool. And now time to add animation on top. I need to slow out that ear a little bit. It's too aggressive and it's looking weird. So look, if my animation ends here and I don't have too much time to settle that ear, what I have to do is to reduce the spacing of the ear so it doesn't feel like it's missing a settle here. So I can totally grab these, maybe paste it here, and just do some changes here. A little bit more. So it doesn't feel that aggressive as it felt before. Oop. Awesome. Then we go and we show you only that. Look at that. Cool. We have the animation there. 40 minutes. This is 40 minutes already. Okay. Is there any way that I can animate all of this in 20 minutes? Let's see. Let's go in beast mode. So here we have this pose. No. Let's see if I can animate this. So the rough pass, take the rough pass and move it in front of all of this stuff. What I'm going to do is a quick blocking of all of this shit. Turn the camera off for a second. Okay, I'm going to first start posing the frames that are in red. Yeah, maybe I'll just shut up and uh, and speed up this process, because otherwise I can talk about my existence in this world, but this will make the video super long. So I'ma just. But the thing is, like, if I just work on this thing and I start posing, I get so bored. Okay, let's do whatever we want. Book. So I'm modifying this stuff, moving all of this craziness around here like this. So Tuki, Tuki. Look, I am even here dragging that thing to add some movement on this character here, Tuki. Like, how much is influenced by that dude that is beating the shit out of him. Even here, the legs I can drag. Well, didn't change much, but I'm trying to move every piece of my character, so I'm trying to replicate this traditional feeling into the animations that I'm doing as much as I can. Oh, I can maybe play around with the legs here and show one of the legs here, like, boom. There you go. The dude falls that way. Bam, bam. Look at that beautiful silhouette that I'm leaving between this handle of the penis and the leg. Bam. Cool. And then goes out of the screen. Cool. And regards of this dude, I'm posting it. I'm still posting it. So we have something like that. Tech. This is the final pose here. And before this, we have something like this according to the rough pass. Enable rough pass again. What I'm going to do is grab this pose, stretch it like this, open it a little bit, and then what I'm going to do here is release this tension that I added here on the nose. Maybe opening the eyes. Ah! Get out of here. Where are you, animatic? As you can see, hello again. I am literally tracing on top of this stuff. Nothing interesting, so that's why I am putting this in faster time. But yeah, if you would like to see this stuff completely, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I will make a 5 hours video. It's like a 2 hours or something for you. But otherwise, I'll keep speeding up the time, because at the end of the day, what is time? It's just an invention of human being to prove our existence in this world, right? So, Tuki, there you go. Tam pam pam. And this animation, I am going faster in this animation, so I'm not designing each one of these poses. I designed my first pose and my last one, and then I'm playing around with these poses. Like this is the last one, and I just designed those two, those two, and then I am just playing around with those two poses to create new perspectives. For example, this was another one that I created, and then I copy and pasted this one here, and I open the eyes completely. And that's the animation process. You so fun. uh, there you go. And then we have this thing go like this, and then go like this, and then goes like this, and then this one go like this. Boom. I remember once I had a mentor from Klaus, and he told me like, it sounded like a little bit, might sound a little bit disappointing, but at the end of the day, it's true. It's like animation is a very technical job, even though sometimes we want to feel like artist. It's a very technical job. Like we have to make sure some stuff is working properly. The lines when we're doing tie down, everything is working perfectly. But the most fun part, as you saw in this video, was doing the rough pass, just going crazy, experimenting with the timing, and then the rest is just a very technical job. Then we have to make sure everything looks polished, looks clean. At this point, I am just moving every piece of the character to follow as close as possible the rough pass that I did, instead of designing each pose, because as I mentioned, I work on two main poses and then the rest is just playing around that same pose. Look at that, and I'm trying to design all of this negative space that you're seeing here in a beautiful way. Look at that. It's looking good. It's looking good, and I'm just tracing on top of that rough pass. Tuki tuki tuki. This is the final frame that goes around here, so now time to animate all of this stuff. So, maybe I will show you how I animate that with the rig, going from this pose to this pose over here. Cool? So, from here to here, we're good. Oh, I just remember I cannot do this with this dude because he's going to be standing up in the next scene, so maybe something like that. So here, what I'm going to do is animate the head alone and then connect the neck with the head. So I have this that is a red frame is a key. I'm going to mark this as a key and I'm going to show you how you reuse frames. Mark frame, red. Mark frame, blue. This is a breakdown. Now look at this. How I reuse the head from this pose to this pose, and the only thing that I changed was the ears. And now from here to here. Oh yeah, I can tune that, beautiful. But I'm going to grab something around here. Something around here. And paste it there. And then I'm going to cut the tuning, and that's something that I do. I reuse these poses. And then I'm grabbing all of this and moving up, following following the rough pass. And then guess what? For example, look at that ear that because of the twin it's broken. So I'm going to copy and paste the one from the breakdown and add it here. So that's how I'm reusing poses. And and I don't care about pieces destroying because of the tuning of Toon Boom because I have full control over that, all over those stuff. And I know the only lines that I use is CSI, so I'm trying to polish these shapes until it gives me some of those shapes, some of those lines. Sorry, so boom. So I'm grabbing here the parenting with the piercing because this is a rock star chihuahua. There you go. Boom. And also the eye. I have to polish this shape a little bit so we have something like that. Let me clean this stuff a little bit. Awesome. So we have this. Boom. Then here we can twin. Well, maybe I can also grab the start moving, connecting the neck. Tuki. There you go. So I'm trying to clean all of this stuff. Tuki, the apex of this, where it is, around here. Following the information of the rough pass. It's not like I'm tracing on top of the rough pass, but the rough pass is a guide for me of like where are the apex of my lines? How is that this character is moving? So boom, boom. And then here I can use the slow in of Stone Boom 44, 44. So you can have a more subtle movement there. Boom. And then here, for example, this breakdown here goes down. So I'm going to move the entire character, move it down to create a rounded movement. Boom. What about this one over here? This one goes down to a little bit like that. So I can grab all of this and rotate that way. Maybe I can rotate this a little bit up. Look at that. Feels bouncy, baby. So tuki tuki, and then I can just cut all of this tuki 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 and two on twos. Cut the in between, and boom, we have that round movement on the motion. And then the next thing that I have to do is animate the ears. Boom. Moving these deformers. Tuki tuki. Then I'm going to grab this ear that I designed here, flip it to match the animation. Smaller, and then I'm going to grab this ear, put it that way, flip it. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Then it goes all the way, so I'm going to copy and paste this one, flip it, reduce the amount of bend that this ear have, somewhere around there. And then copy and paste this one here, and slow in towards that pose. Maybe I can stretch this a little bit more to create an arc. I'm looking at the dot here at the corner of this ear to create that round movement there. Cool. So it's like tan tan, tan tan. And then on the other ear, same thing, just following what I did on the rough pass. And every time that I'm working on, I press G. That's my shortcut to go inside of the timeline here and see these frames. And I'm working on each one of these pieces individually. I think the normal shortcut of Toon Boom is O, but I have my own shortcut, so so I work faster. I'm going to grab all of this here again. It's going to boom, go down here to key. So we have boom, and then I can allow Toon Boom to give me the in-betweens between these two. Yes, like a slow in here, slow out here. Then cut, cut, cut. Good. Something that I want to fix is how the base is moving. So if this is the final position of the base here, I want this to move that way. So it doesn't feel like the part that is attached is moving with no sense. Boom, boom. Look at that. Boom, boom. Haha, good. I love that. And then that's animation. And then I enable the camera. Boom, 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 boom. And then I disable the rough pass. There you go. And then I can go frame by frame fixing all this kind of weird stuff that is happening here. For example, these ears, I flip it in here, so I'm going to just copy these ones here. Boom. So when we're seeing this, is these changes are super soft for the eye. Something like that. Here I can drag that eye too. So I'm going to copy and paste this one here. And then here, this could be something like that. So here I'm working on those overlapping actions and all this weird stuff. Actually, I would like this eye to be here and this eye to be here. So look at what I did there. So I stretch all of this like that. Boom, boom, boom. Here, I want to start building that apex going up. Cool. It's like a wave going that way, then that way, then that way. Ta, 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 ta. Let me get rid of this line here. Come on. There you go. Now I'm leaving a lot of space here. I can totally move that way. Boom. Boom. Cool. Awesome. Now I have more frames to settle down here. I can even put all of this on once. Beautiful. Tung tung. Now I'm seeing some weird stuff happening here. I see it here. Look. Here. Boom. There you go. Pound. Pound. See? That's animation. Now the eye, I can do something different here. So boom, boom, boom. Now here I want this to be the other side. And then here. And then here, pook, pook, pook. Here I can overshoot these forward. Boom. Then let Toon Boom slow out towards the other pose. Stretch that a little bit up. There you go. I don't like how snappy this is, so I'm going to reduce this for a second. Okay, that's more soft. Good. 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 Now see if I want to move the camera here. Maybe up, and then we're going down again. Less. So Tuki. So the camera in some ways following the movement of the character. Slow and slower. Less. Cool. That's it. That's the scene. That's the animation. So hope you like the process, the behind the scene, and yeah. this is this is how I approach animating in Toon Boom Harmony. So hope you like it, and I'll continue next day with a new scene. And if you like all of this behind the scene process, feel free to share this with your friends, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.